I just felt like I went to church.
I almost fell asleep.
I was actually watching Beppe going.
I was going like that.
I wanted
too.
to make like I'm really fucking like I'm saying to myself, is this kid serious? Is he fucking with me?
I am.
Oh my God.
I'm back. I'm back. That's what I do. I just have to do it. What's up, party people? Good to see you. I'm back. Gigione today. I decided to wear Gigio's name just because you were in a Nazionale spirit. We're with Pachi, who is actually wearing an Urbi and Manos.
It had to happen at some point. I figured I'll just do it now so we don't talk about it anymore.
Yeah, and then we got Beppe, who is in the car somewhere in the middle. Where are you right now? Are you in Queens right now? Where are you?
I'm in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, but I'm at work. I mean, the work site is outside here, but because there's too much noise that they're making, I say, you know what? Let me go in the car and let me go in here. You know what? Some people that know me, people that started listening to my voice notes, most of the magic was done in here with the blinkers and all that. So, you know, what better place to actually be in?
Guys, the blinkers are like the staple of the audios here. Giancarlo must be trapped in a meeting somewhere. That's what I'm thinking.
Or he's just strapped somewhere.
Probably. You know, he found a cannoli somewhere.
He's gonna probably text us later, be like, "You guys were serious about doing 5:45?"
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
right.
Listen,
You're right.
I am still in work clothes. I didn't even wear La Nazionale clothes. I've been between work, and I said, "Screw it, I'm here. I'm gonna do this." It's 5:45, and we're gonna do it. So I did watch a lot of the game. I was pretty happy, man.
It was good. I thought we had a solid first half, and then we decided it was time for a coffee in the second half, and we decided playing. I mean, if you take into account the two strikers they had up front, basically play Serie C in England. So you know, it's I don't want to be I don't want to take Beppe's job right now, but I'm just saying I'm a little concerned about the way we played the second half in the back, particularly because. You know, you can do that with Northern Ireland, with all due respect, but when France comes along, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't understand why this team, and this is just the Italian way. For some reason, when we play Malta, the Faroe Islands, for some reason, I don't know why, we always struggle. But then when we play Germany or these teams, we come out. It's always been like that, our small mentality that we always had to let the small teams think that, overpass them or always play like that. I don't think it's anything bad. Surprisingly enough, with the national team, I'm a little more positive because I see that there's a group there. When was the last time that we played a game for the national team? It's been a while.
5 months ago.
So sometimes that's what it is, Now it's official.
Yeah, Mancini said the same thing. He said, look, we played 5 months ago, so what are we going to do? You know what I mean? We need to get back into whatever we were into before. So I get it. That's fine.
And this is a perfect timing, too, because the Euros are essentially 2 months away. So it's good to have these 3 games as like a final tune-up before the Euros because,
Yeah, that's it. I mean, when is the next qualifier round after that? It's after the Euros then?
After the Euros.
Man, so this is it. I mean, pretty much we got to go get 9 points, be solid, take the. I mean, it's doable. It's Bulgaria and then Lithuania. I mean, in paper, we got to go. And this is what I was actually looking at it with the roster that we're going with, which is pretty deep. I'm just hoping. Yeah, it's pretty nice. I think there's, of course, there's a risk of people getting injured as always, but I think it's doable to rotate everybody so everybody has some sort of decent playing time and not burn each other out until going back into the shit show that we're facing.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, you've seen it tonight. You take Emerson out and Spinazzola comes on. I mean, we have solid backups. Chiesa comes on and Berardi leaves the pitch. And, I mean, I'm actually pretty content with – I'm pretty happy with Grifo. I think he's doing great. So, I don't know. I think, as Beppe said, I think we have a team here. I think we have a solid group of people. And Mancini was able to do that, get it done. We haven't conceded a goal in more than 390 minutes, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, even if we concede now, man, it's still 390 minutes without conceding a goal. And that tells you something about the way we've been playing. So, plus, I think I'm in love with Verratti.
So maybe there's maybe there was something wrong with Ventura. It wasn't just the group. Maybe it was something wrong with Ventura. The people go like, no, the group was the way it is. It's not the coach's fault. Day and night. Day and night. That scumbag, that motherfucker made us miss a World Cup tournament for the first time in 70 years. And people want to still tell me, oh, it was the group, perché era un gruppo scadente, un gruppo... Come on. That team should have never, ever be missing. You know what? It's a breath of fresh air. It's a 2-year project that Mancini has been bringing forward. And I can't wait to see what's going to happen at the Euros, because this team has to at least get to a quarterfinal. I don't know anything.
I agree.
Said that, because we still got France in front of us. I believe we got Germany in front of us. I don't know England. I can't tell you can't tell today because they played St. John's University in San Marino. San Marino is not really a tune-up, but you know what I mean.
I agree, man.
But the hopes, I got high hopes for the team to do good. I mean, I saw those Raiola apparently, because Raiola is looking for the Euro Cup Veterina window, because apparently, I don't know, like I'm reading what do you call it? I'm reading headlines that say Gigio dice no, which means Gigio says no, but Raiola rifiuta l'offerta del Milan. Raiola has refused the Milan's offer. So which one is it? Is it Gigio that said no, or is it a fucking piece of shit?
It's complicated.
I mean, are we jumping from one?
I think we're jumping to the big elephant in the room, Oscar. We're talking about the big elephant in the room.
8 million. We're giving you 8 million. Okay, we thought it was gonna take 8.5. So now does that mean that let's say you're gonna have to have 10 no matter what? Are we waiting to after the Euros? Are you gonna be satisfied with 10? What happens if you have a shitty Euro? So now this is pissing me off, because who do I blame? Because I want to believe that it's Raiola's big mouth that's doing this, but Gigio's got to turn around and say, listen, 4 years ago, you put me in a situation where he even cried. At one point, he was crying when they did the under 21, whatever, under 19 World Cup. I remember everything was going on as he was going there, and he was physically, like, he was fucked up in the head because he couldn't take all the criticism. Why would you do this to this kid going into a tournament? It's gonna happen again. People are gonna get annoyed because they're gonna say, shit, 8 million a year is not even good enough for you. We don't even get like a break. What's going on? You guys could go ahead. No.
I mean, I agree with Beppe, and since I guess we just jumped into this topic, which is the big topic of the week, right?
Yeah, no, let's do it. I know. I'm at this point. Let's do it.
I agree with pretty much everything Beppe just said. I'm just going to put some things out there. First of all, Lloris at Tottenham has not extended his contract, and it's looking like he will be leaving Tottenham. All right.
Okay.
Which is very interesting for just to give you an idea of what is going on right now on the goalkeepers market kind of front. So Lloris is 50-50 on Tottenham, might move into the Manchester United second goalkeeper position, because it looks like Man U might be getting rid of De Gea to promote his second goalkeeper, who's doing very, very well. He's a very nice goalkeeper. And at that point, Tottenham would be moving to select the Lille goalkeeper, which has been associated with AC Milan in the past 7 to 10 days. Very young guy, very dynamic, very nice goalkeeper, to be honest, who's valued between 15 to 25 million. Okay. So the way I see it is, I understand he's shopping around for teams. As Raiola, I get it. You want to get him. You want to get Gigio to another team for free, so you make the big chunk of money. AC Milan doesn't, but you get the big commission money. I understand, and you move this guy over for $10 million. Well, just keep in mind, most top teams are moving in for good goalies, and they don't want to spend more than $15 to $25 million, and they're not offering these guys $10 million a year because they're smart. They're like, we need to build up goalkeepers, and let's get some young ones, promising ones, good goalkeepers or whatever, but let's not spend all that money on a young goalkeeper when we can spend that money on rebuilding the team. So it's the same old story as we had a couple of years ago. Same thing. It's the same stuff. So we think we can sell this guy for 40, 50, 60, $100 million, although there's no offer on the table. So I really don't understand what Raiola is looking for. I guess he's taking 98 days or whatever is left to the end of the contract, just shop around and see if somebody's got a bite. I don't think anybody's going to bite. I don't think anybody's going to give 10 million to Gigio. Not in this market. I mean, look at Chelsea. Chelsea had a horrific situation at the beginning of the season with his goalie. Right? They overpaid with Kepa, and it just wasn't working around. This guy kept making mistakes. So he went like in what in American football they call quicksand, right? So every single move he was making, it was just sinking deeper. So they had to move in. They just went straight into the market, made a straight offer, and got Mendy, right? They have Mendy. They have Kepa right now. They invested a ton in goalkeepers. And these are guys that spend $200 million a year in their transfer market. So I don't understand who Raiola is looking for. PSG? I doubt it. I mean, have you seen they qualified all the way to where they are right now in Champions League without Gigio? Why would they spend all this money? So to be honest, I think
it's got to be somebody that's got money to burn.
Who's got money to burn? China? Nobody. Dubai? Is that a move for a young goalkeeper?
The usual suspects are probably going to be PSG. They're going to be
PSG has they have
Manchester City.
And how many
Nava has been absolutely phenomenal this
That's
year.
what I'm saying. How many times has he saved their ass? Like right now against the Barcelona match. Even though Barcelona was playing like crap. How many times did he save him? He even stopped the penalty to Messi. Yeah. I mean, you got to be an animal to get rid of him.
It means you get rid of this guy and you got to pay the next one $10 million.
Yeah.
Right now. I mean, Barcelona's got Ter Stegen.
Apparently, if you turn down $8 million, that's got to be the number. There's no question about it now.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, even for Raiola, he can't look like a moron. You know what I mean? You can't move a guy who just refused $8 million to get $7 million at PSG. It makes no sense, right? So you have to go for 9 or 10. Who's going to give him 9 or 10? I mean, I love Gigio. If he goes, he goes. I love the guy. Whether he's going to have an AC Milan shirt on next year or Manchester United or PSG, I don't care. I love the guy. Good luck. But what I'm saying is, I think he's just. I think he doesn't have a lot of very good cards in his hands, and he's just bluffing. To be completely frank.
I really hope so. I really hope that's the case, because, I mean, I don't know what to do. I mean, I don't know. I'm convinced that he's waiting for the Euros. The problem is, this is the type of guy that if Gigio has a really, really bad Euros, which we could have, we're expecting quarterfinals, this and that, but it's a very good possibility that this team goes and doesn't even get past the groups. It's a possibility. We've seen it happen before. High hopes for national teams, you never know. So what happens if that happens? Now, do you go back and say, okay, you know what, 8 million sounds about right? No, now we could say, you know what, now I think 7 million is going to do it. You understand? You know, you're waiting. You're going to make the price go higher if he has an incredible Euro, even better if we end up winning it. But if he has a shitty Euro, you're not going to go lower than 8. So, no. I mean, it's like we can't win.
Yeah.
We have to just walk away.
I don't see it going anywhere. I mean, honestly, let's say he has an amazing Euro. His value goes up to, like, let's say 80, 90 million. Again, going back to the question, who's going to go pay that? The only team that I could think of is Manchester City, and they have Ederson. They're pretty happy with him. And
they spend a ton of money on Ederson. So they're not gonna get another. You're gonna get Gigio, move Ederson to second goalie. That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like he's shopping around in a dead market. I don't think it's a good market to be. I mean, he's just. I think he's just hustling for his client. I get it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't expect Gigio to come out and say, "I love AC Milan. I'm never gonna leave." I'm not. That's not the point. But. It's not. Let me ask you a question, though, about this. I feel like, let's say Gigio goes. Who would you like to have?
Honestly, I was always curious to see what Plizzari would be like. But I feel like if he was really that good, he would be the backup goalie. So you still need some experience there. So I never really thought. See, that's the thing. I never really thought I was going to make. I never really thought to look at anybody else, because I never saw life without Gigio. But I mean, who could you get? We had Reina at one point.
We had
Reina back then at one point.
Yeah, I know.
Which we thought could have been whatever. But I don't know. Who would you get? Would you get like a Meret, which is at Napoli, but he doesn't really play that much? Would you get a Scruffet? Would you get a... Who was the one that played for you and then he went back to Genoa? Perin. I don't know. Who would you get?
I think my first choice would probably... I mean, if I have to stay in Italy, my first choice would be Musso from Udinese.
Musso.
Yeah, it's not bad. He's an Argentinian.
What about Ivan Cragno?
That would be my second choice, Alessio Cragno, for sure.
I would say Cragno and Aldero from Sampdoria.
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, Aldero
is really underrated.
No, you're right. I think Sampdoria is going to want at least 30.
The reason why I want to stay 20, the reason why I want to stay in Italy is for the simple fact that why even go out look elsewhere when we have the cream of the crop when it comes to goalies?
I agree. That's the best thing. We're the best in the world at that. So I agree. We got Musso, we got Cragno, but as you say, Plizzari, and you just look around and a bunch of other teams. I mean, this guy Carnesecchi, under 21, played yesterday. Phenomenal goalie. And he hasn't even showed up on the map yet. So I feel like, why would you shop around? That's why I'm saying, like, the goalkeepers market is a tough market. You know what I mean? You can pay 150 million for Holland, right? You can go and pay 100 million for whatever else, number 10, you pick up somewhere in Bundesliga and bring to Real Madrid. Like, I get that. With goalies, people don't want to overspend. So it's never... I made the example in the chat the other day.
Except if you're Chelsea. Except if you're Chelsea.
Except if you're Chelsea.
But let me give you a provocation, as we say. Let me see if, you know, even though it's going to kill me to say this, but do you think this is 4 years ago when this whole thing happened again, they were talking about Juve, you know, the Juve fans were salivating. Yeah. Do you think this is something that Raiola was? Because Raiola always felt like he knew what was best for Gigio, or Milan doesn't have a good project, or the Chinese don't exist, which in a way he was right. But well, Milan is not going to go nowhere. I want Gigio to be in a different situation. Juve as a organization, Ronaldo's debacle aside, looks like the only team in Italy that's equipped to go forward and have some kind of like a project going on. We don't know yet. We're not going to make Champions League. Does that mean that this was always set up for Juve to get this motherfucker on a free loan? I mean, not a free loan, sorry, on a free transfer?
No, I don't think so. I think Juve is set with Szczesny, and they're going to keep Buffon as long as they can. Eventually, they'll get a young, new goalie to just come in under Szczesny, but I think Szczesny's got plenty of more years in front of him. So, and again, I don't think goalies are really the focus of any team that needs to rebuild. Juve has definitely bigger fish to fry at the moment. So I think Gigio coming in at 10 million with already a $31 million that you invested in Ronaldo every year. I don't see Juve needs to have a hard look at the strikers and a hard look at the mids.
At their mid, especially at their mid. Because,
yeah, man. I mean, we got Ramsey in there.
How much did Khedira drain them down there? You know, it's like, I don't see it, and Ronaldo's just draining them. And this is what we speak about. They're looking, I know from what I've read, is they're looking at Gosens. They're looking at the guy from Lyon, Awar, I think that's his name. I mean, there are some things that I'm just keep reading in and out, and I'm like, yeah, your focus is there, but whenever you look at the money that Ronaldo is costing you, I don't know what you're going to be able to afford. You may be able to afford one at the most. But again, it's the same for everybody. I mean, it's the same for us. It's the same for anything. So yeah, I think the whole goalie economy right now, I think these are scare tactics that Raiola is putting on pressure, so they actually bend over to their offer and say, hey, you know, we want 10 million or else. I'm like, well, or else what? There's no more market for you. But
that's what I mean. So I love the way Maldini's playing this, to be honest.
Yeah.
He's being very safe. He's thinking about eventually, you know, having a look around.
He's thinking about the future, which is good because it shows you that you're not going to keep us hostage. Actually, that's the one thing that kind of shocked me and scared me, because I think this may be a tactic for Raiola to be like, you know, listen, we're going to go look around. In the meantime, you guys, you know, you make your choice. We're going to look around and see we can make ours. But, you know, I hope that this team doesn't go and sign somebody and then for like how much money were we paying Reina?
We were paying Reina a total of, I remember I had this discussion at some point at Casa Milan, because they were because they were like telling, because the problem in Italy is obviously that the numbers you hear you have to double, right? Because we have a 48% tax on top. So if you pay Gigio 10, it means that
20.
if he's making 10, that's a $20 million loss that you have, basically, that you have to put in on your budget sheet. Reina was around 6 for the team. So I'm saying, we're still paying Antonio Donnarumma about 2.5. So, I mean, and that's our third goal.
I'm telling you, had Fasone been here, all that bullshit that we had, they were already signed him for like 50. They would have granted.
I really hope when
request.
they resign, if they actually renew this kid, I hope that he doesn't have to. We don't have to bring again Antonio. Because we don't need somebody that's carrying balls to make $1 million.
That was a blackmail technique that these buffoons fell for. That's my.
For sure.
I mean, they did it because of his brother is here. Why not? Although Antonio, I'm gonna defend Antonio, man. The few matches he's had, he's done something. Okay. I mean,
fair enough. But
I remember
you can't make that much money.
I remember that Europa League playoff match, and man, that guy just and the derby. And the derby versus Inter, he was like, I don't know. So
he wasn't actually saving the ball; he was using his fist.
That's fine. Whatever, he did it.
Remember, we still have the Romanian Gigio Donnarumma, and we need to clear that one out. Like, what's going to happen with Tataruzano? Are we keeping him? We're not keeping him? I have no idea. I mean, he hasn't played at all. He played a few matches. But
see, like the way that you see the revolving doors. Last year we had Begovic. Then we got Tataruzano. It's like a fucking revolving door.
Oh, Begovic was going to stay. Begovic was going to stay. I think the contract they were offering he didn't want, so he just went back to play, second division in England.
Because everybody knows, whoever comes to Milan knows that unless Gigio goes down, you're never taking that spot.
But that's why we can afford having a third very young, up and coming goalkeeper, because he, a 20-year-old. Who can learn in a nice environment from Dida, who's definitely not a bad, a coach when it comes to that. And I think he has a lot of experience that he can share with young goalies. Yeah. So
when Plizzari played the World Cup, that he played that under 20, I remember he was out of his mind, I think, at that World Cup.
But 4 years ago, that's what they were saying. 4 years ago.
He played that.
People were bitter. Also, people were bitter and they were saying, "Oh, fuck him. We don't need Gigio. Plizzari is even better. It's supposed to be even better." I know lots of people just angry saying that because you don't want to give the satisfaction. But I've heard good things about it. The thing is, I don't follow Serie B as much. I want to follow him. I want to try to get to see what he's been doing. But he keeps coming back. He keeps going out for loan again. I don't think he's doing.
Well, to be completely honest, he's been having a nightmare of a season in Serie B right now. Like he had a full-on crisis in January, and
is he still with Livorno?
No, he's at Regina.
Regina. Yeah, he's not working out at all. So that's why you see me less excited about Plizzari than I was like a couple of years ago, because I feel like he's a good goalie. But you have to see how these guys grow up, and honestly, it doesn't look like he's shaping into anything that that he's not growing into his own. To be honest,
like why do, like, for example, if it was me and I'm Gantz at this point, or Junti is the run, Junti is the one, I would give him a shot at Primavera and say, "Hey kid, here you go. You got 6 months. If it doesn't work out, we're done. Grazie."
I agree. That's honestly, I think he's gonna come back, and
he should play at Primavera. He should play at Primavera and just go at it, kid. Like, show what you got.
After this year, to be honest, he's gonna take whatever they give him.
Yeah,
because he had literally a nightmare of a season. So, yeah, it's a pity, man, because we loan these kids out to be fine. Not everybody's a Pobega, I guess. Not everybody's got that level of mindfulness and presence and discipline to be inside of whatever he is inside. Plizzari actually is looking like he's going through something, a bit like a Kepa kind of thing. So
I wanted to switch gears a little bit, actually, going back into the whole qualification stage.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I'm sorry, guys. That it was so fired up.
We had to get to Gigio at some point.
We had to. We beat him up, but. Did you know that Zlatan played 84 minutes today?
That was the next thing, yes.
Oh
my God, that was the next thing I was gonna say.
He descended upon the pitch for 84 minutes.
How? I mean, and he had an assist.
What did you
Really?
think? Did you think he wasn't gonna play? Did you think he really wasn't gonna play that long?
Listen, I was expecting him to play what, like a second half.
Who are they going to play instead? Guidetti? I mean,
no, they gotta play the players. Since he's been gone for 5 years, they managed to make it to a World Cup without him.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point.
Play anybody else, but they don't give a shit because Zlatan is back. For them, they could care less. Because at the end of the day, when he's broken, when he comes back against Sampdoria, and he sees, he trained something else, they're gonna say, okay, I'm sorry. I mean, he got hurt with you guys. A guy like that needs to realize his limits. Problem is, he really thinks he's Benjamin Button. He's not saying it to look cute in front of the cameras. I gave him that. In his mind, he really does believe he's still young. In his mind, yes. Your body's not going to be responding the way it is. Even though I love you, you are. I mean, when it comes to like resilience, there's not been a person at that age that has done what he's done in Serie A. When you go to MLS, your career goes to die. This guy said, you know what? I think I just wasted 2 years of my career. I'm going to do something that nobody's done. I'm actually going to go back and show you that I could go back to Serie A and rip it up again. I'm going to show you that I wasn't just doing this in MLS. You know what? Screw this. I'm coming back. He came back and look what he's doing. So he knows he's able to take on the world. Problem is, you already had 3 injuries. Take it the fuck easy. I know it's tough to tell Ibrahimovic to take it easy, but I mean, we cannot afford to lose him, especially on this last 11 games.
That's what I said to myself.
84 minutes.
84 minutes.
It's a lot. Especially when you just came back off an injury. You've been playing games every 3 days.
Thank you.
I heard that you're going to play, I don't know if it's the second game or the third game that's supposed to be a friendly. But I know he's going to play both qualification games. He may sit out the friendly game. I don't know if the friendly game is the next game or the friendly game is the third game.
No, it's the last one. The next one is versus Kosovo. And then the last one on the 31st is versus Estonia. But it's a friendly. That's a friendly.
Okay. So that's better that it's the friendly is the last one. So at least he sits that out and he gets ready for Sampdoria. Because Sampdoria is on Saturday.
It makes me so nervous to see this. Like, I hate to say it because we depend so much on this guy. Mandzukic is not ready yet. Well, apparently he was going to be ready by the end of the month from what I've been reading on the reports. But please, come on, don't get injured, man. You don't need to.
I'm very tense about that. I'm very tense about Ibra, and I'm very tense about Benacer with Algeria.
Oh, that's right. They're playing the African Cup. And Kessie too. Kessie is going to play that.
I am very scared about those two in the middle. Because I get it. Like, national teams depend on them, and to Bepp's point, even more, play those guys. But if you're Sweden, play the other guys. They got to a World Cup, right? Play Zlatan, for God's sake, of course, but play him 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I'm playing 84 minutes. You've done without Zlatan for years. Now suddenly you need him for 84 minutes. So I'm with Beppe. I agree with that. But I'm very worried about Benacer and Kessie, because those guys need to play for those national teams. There's no other choice.
Well, I mean, I'm looking. Ivory Coast has a game versus Niger. I mean, okay, fine. I don't see what Algeria is playing for it, but they are not playing until, I don't know. I think it's a few days from now.
Why don't we talk about somebody that played actually, like Mr.
Çalhanoğlu played.
You want to talk about Hakan's goal? Is that where you want to go?
This team, I swear to God, this guy, I don't understand. They literally smacked Haaland around, and he had his hands in doing that too. And this guy now completely disappears when he puts on the red and black shirt.
I don't know, man. To be honest, I want to be his advocate today, and I'm gonna tell you, I think Çalha is getting back into shape. That's what's happening. I think he got a goal for us the other day. I think he got a goal with Turkey because I think he's just, he's warming up. He's coming back from COVID. He's coming back from injuries. He's coming back from all of that, and he's warming up. So if he doesn't do what he's done with Turkey for us in 3 weeks, let's talk about this again in 3 weeks. And if he hasn't done that, then I'm with you. But I get a feeling that we're going to see a decent Chala in the next couple of
there's another point to that. That Frank de Boer is absolutely not a coach or not a good coach. Period. He ruined Inter, he ruined Atlanta United, and now he's ruining the national team.
If Frank de Boer is a coach, I'm a soprano.
Thank you. So, by the way, Algeria did play today. They tied, and Benacer did not play.
That's great news. He needs time off. He's had a very tough time, and we all seen what happened with Fiorentina when he came on. I mean, I think we can all agree that it was. I mean, his contribution to the game was incredible. It was Benacer.
Him and Hakan. Like that's what made Çalhanoğlu look better. It was, I think.
You also free up Kessie. You free up that guy if you give him a decent player to play next to. And I don't want to take anything away from Tonali. He clearly needs more time. Clearly needs a lot of growing up. I mean, he's definitely not Barella, who can just jump in and be Barella. But I have to say, when Benacer came on, I saw Kessie just, he lost like 3 pounds of stress. You know what I mean? He was like, he looks skinnier than Beppe after 6 months of diet.
Hey, Tonali did us a favor yesterday. He got a red.
That's another thing. I don't understand this fucking guy. What's the matter with him?
He got a red.
Understand. I mean, that's all we need. More.
He read my text message. He followed my directions. I'm very proud. Very proud.
But even in that game, he played 86 minutes, but he didn't do shit. Besides getting that red card, that's the only way that Sky got to talk about him, because otherwise.
I know. I'm with you. Honestly, I can't. I agree, Beppe. I don't know what's going on. I don't get it. I think he was okay at Brescia. I think there was a lot of hype around him. I think we overpaid for sure, which is fine because we underpaid for most of the guys we have, so it's fine. But I'm with you. Like, I have no idea what's going on.
And I like him. I want to like him. I don't want to be the one. Usually I'm a pain in the ass to a lot of players, but I actually like him. I thought he could have been something big. I'm not saying like comparing to Barella, because Barella, we missed out on that. But I guess
we missed that part. We
never had a chance. You know why? We never had a chance because in a situation that we were in, Inter was a step ahead of us. Inter was going to go to the Champions League. A lot of things were going better for Inter than us. That's why I keep stressing we have to make Champions League this year, because otherwise you're going to keep taking a step backwards. You cannot put yourself in the big boys table if you're not at the big boys table. You can't just
no Champions League, no game. I agree.
That's it. That's why you stress over every points drop because of this.
But we have to be honest. Like, I was ready to throw in the towel after Ribéry's goal.
Absolutely, I was the same thing.
Me too.
I said it. I said it on the show. After the 2-1 goal, I said, here we go. It's like, maybe they're lucky if they get a 2-2 tie, but we're not.
And they came back, man. They came back, and we have a decent sized number of points away from San Siro this year, and we have, I think, one of the best records over the past 5 years of games that we won after we were 2 goals down or 1 goal down. And I think that says something about these guys. They're definitely creating some sort of winning mentality. I don't know if it's Zlatan, don't get me wrong. Perhaps it's Pioli, perhaps it's good luck, perhaps it's empty stadiums. I have no idea. But something is definitely creating some sort of energy that actually gets these guys to come back against I wouldn't say all odds, but in very complicated situations. So I gotta cut him some slack at this point.
I'm curious to see how many points Milan had with Zlatan and without Zlatan. And the games that we played with Zlatan, I would love to see how much was the gap and what kind of games do. I mean, I should have done my homework with that, because now I'm curious to see, because every time Ibra is there, Ibra always puts his Zampino over there, always does something. And he could have had 2. I said it on the podcast on Sunday. He could have had 2 goals because that crossbar is very close from going in.
Yeah.
So he came back and it was like business as usual. Like the guy never stopped. Usually a player needs like a little bit of time to get his feet wet. That's what's gonna happen with Leao. Leao's gonna need about 9 games to get his feet wet, and then the last 2 games of the year probably score a couple of goals. That's just the way he is.
Leao was very disappointing. Very disappointing.
I think it's pointless in this conversation. I don't think he got called for Portugal either. So
he's hurt.
Wow, really? Oh, wow.
Oh, he's hurt.
It's hurt. Oh, there we go.
What the hell are you gonna call him for?
Well, Andre Silva is scoring braces over hat tricks, and scoring. His mom is scoring. His dad is scoring. He's scoring with his nose.
Pum pum too, right? Pum, pum.
Yeah, but I'm saying for Portugal, I mean, they'd rather go with Andre Silva than Leao for sure.
Yeah, but I feel like that team was always going to be. I mean, that player was always going to do. If he was going to do good, he was going to do it away from Milan.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm a firm believer in good. I mean, different plays, different outcome. I like I said, we've seen it before. Shevchenko was doing great at Milan, went to Chelsea, did shit. Kaká was doing great at Milan, went to Real, didn't do what he was doing at Milan. It's not like the player just decided to start sucking. Some different plays, different outcome, different team.
But that's
we
why,
have Rivaldo.
Yeah.
What happened to Rivaldo?
That's why I was going to ask you guys, going back about that, staying on the same topic, but I was going to ask you about the Italy match tonight. I see Locatelli, and I got to be honest, there's, we talked about this right now. We said players that used to play in a different setting, they moved to a completely different environment and found themselves to be, better players or have a different, Paquetá came out this week saying, I didn't have any friends in Milan. I felt depressed. In Lyon, I feel much better. So I get it. But part of me has a few regrets when it comes to Locatelli, when I look at him. And the other part of me says, look, I think this guy needed to go to Sassuolo. I think he needed to have less pressure. He needed to be in a different environment, have to have a couple of coaches that made him actually play the ways he liked to play, and with no pressure at all, because other people were bearing, the brunt for Sassuolo. So I guess he grew into whatever he is now, where people, where great teams are looking at him. And we actually considered him today.
That's what I was going to say.
For example, Juve, right?
Yeah, he has Juventus written all over him.
Well, tonight, I mean, keep in mind, tonight he played for Jorginho. I mean, that's a huge, huge responsibility.
Yes.
Yeah. So my question is, this is my long introduction to the question, which is Locatelli, good idea or regret?
Well, now it looks like it would have been it's a stupid idea, but in my book, I think if he would have stayed with us, maybe he doesn't do nothing. Maybe he needed, like you said, he needed to go to Sassuolo to find his his dimension. But I'll make you another example. Look at Cutrone. We let him go, and we did good to let him go, because I said it to everybody, like, he's a very likable guy. We love him, this and that, but doesn't look like he's going to do anything with us. And look, he's been a zinger. Everywhere he's gone, he hasn't done nothing.
He had a decent game yesterday.
Yeah, about one game over 30 games.
Yeah, but now he's at the Spanish league where nobody knows how to defend.
Yes,
that's
what I'm saying, though. When you get rid of, sometimes it's just different plays, different outcome. I think Locatelli, like he hit the nail right on the head. He needed to go to a team like Sassuolo. Who knows? Maybe if he would have went to Atalanta, he would have been even better on a different system. Who knows? But I don't think he would have done what he's done at Sassuolo with Milan. So
I agree.
If you don't, at the end of the day, I think we had no choice. We had to let him go.
I guess I feel the same about Cristante sometimes when I see him, I think about the fact that he moved to Portugal very, very young, and I feel like that sort of got him, a lot of these players move away from home when they're 16, 15, 16, and they get into different cities and stuff like that. And all they experience is actually different kinds of Italy, right? So they move from Calabria all the way to Bergamo to play for Atalanta's youth team and all that kind of stuff. So they're away from family, but they're still in Italy, which is a very sort of cozy environment to a certain extent.
So let me ask you, do you think the same about Berardi?
Berardi? I don't, Berardi, to me, it's always like, it's a hit or miss.
Yeah.
To me, Berardi's been my fantacalcio nightmare for many, many years. So, I mean, this guy can hit a hat trick, and he looks like Messi.
Shit, today looked like Messi.
Yeah, he's like, you're like, oh my God, we're gonna win the Euro with this guy alone.
Yeah.
And then 5 minutes later, he gets a red card because he punches somebody in the face. And I don't know. Honestly, I don't know how I feel about Berardi. I thought today, first half, amazing. I mean, he was mind blowing. They didn't know what to do with him on that side of the pitch. No idea what to do with him. And that was pretty impressive, because you had Insigne on the other side, who's definitely not an easy guy for the Northern Ireland defense to handle. But Berardi killed it. So I'm conflicted, man. If you say, oh, all right, so AC Milan is moving in for Berardi, I'll be like, I don't know.
That and Azzurri, to me, are ex-players that, I look at it like it hurts, to see that over time.
Yeah, but after the fact, of course. I mean, for me, it hurt to see fucking Torres start scoring the week after he left Milan.
Yes.
It goes to tell you maybe sometimes some players don't work in certain teams. But I'll make another provocation to you too. Remember right before you went to Lazio, when Immobile was linked with Milan, and we all said, no, this fucking scrub, we don't want him there.
Yes.
He went to Lazio, and the rest is history. This guy was reborn. Now, do you guys think it would happen the same thing at Milan? And I'm going to say exactly what Pashi said. Pashi said sometimes it's better to go to a Sassuolo, less pressure, less this. Milan, although Milan hasn't done nothing at the levels of Juve or Inter, that stadium is still heavy. It's still tough to deal with. Immobile would have never been able to withstand because he would have been given a number 9, guaranteed. Wouldn't have done shit just because people already would have been right off the bat, oh, number 9, look, the jinx, this and that. He was going to be exactly what Immobile was before going to Lazio, for me. But Lazio is not like that. Lazio is not even like Roma. Lazio is more laid back when it comes to that. So, and it's just the way it happens. Different players, different outcome, I think.
It's a pressure cooker.
Yeah. It's a pressure cooker. I agree.
You get to Milan. I mean, and I think a lot of these.
What happened?
I think we lost Oscar for a second.
I think we lost Oscar, yeah.
I think he's Oscar.
He's thinking.
It was your Immobile question. He can't get over it. You can't get over it. He's stuck.
Going back to the national team, I was happy to see him scoring because that's been one of his his biggest problems is he hasn't been scoring on the national team. So we need him. We can't just have the guy because it reminds me of like Tony, Capocannoniere, 3 years in a row, went to the World Cup. Yeah, he scored 2 goals, but he probably scored 2 goals on the stupidest game we played the whole tournament against the Ukraine.
Well, we need you. I think in the national team, we always did very well when we had a finisher, right? When we had somebody up there who could just get the job done, right? 2006, we had Inzaghi, we had Tony, we had people that could just throw the ball in at some point, which is, I think it's critical. I agree with you. Seeing him score tonight after he scored 36 goals last year, he was ahead of Lewandowski last year. That was a pretty impressive thing to do. Seeing him score tonight was huge.
Yeah, because I feel like the last bomber puro that we had, it's got to be Bobo Vieri.
It's got to be. Well, Tony, I would definitely put out there.
But Tony didn't really do anything with the national team.
No, not really. But I mean, we always played with a big guy up front. We had Graziano Pellè last couple of years, and and I agree with you. Bobo Vieri was definitely always up there.
Because no matter what, every time you put on the national team, because it's not for everybody that shirt. That shirt, we've seen people like Del Piero and Totti. They never really power went out here. I guess he had a blackout.
Oh, he had a blackout. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oscar had a blackout, ladies and gentlemen. That's a little scary. I hope everybody is fine.
It's okay.
He's in Miami right now, right?
Yes.
I hope he's fine down in Florida.
I didn't get a good glimpse of the couch, but I'm sure the couch is there. So.
Oh, I saw the couch. No, did you didn't see the couch? No, I saw the couch.
He's in Miami.
He's in Miami because we all seen that couch.
Unless he takes that couch with him everywhere,
Oh, no, yeah. That's his travel couch. He takes that everywhere. I was going to ask you this question, Beppe, because I know you might know. So since I'm back in Milan, I got all my memorabilia. I got all my little toys. So I'm going to ask you a few questions while we see if Oscar is going to come back. But here we go. So if I say 1990, since we're talking about the national team, 1990, Italia 90, right? So our national team. If I show you this guy, do you know who that is?
That's Zeige Vicini.
Very good. Yes, that was our coach.
I remember those.
Remember these things?
The ugliest things in the world, but they were so cool back then.
Right? Look at this. I mean, they're really terrible, to be honest. So what if I show you this guy? Do you know this guy? Same team.
That looks like Vialli.
There you go. That's Gianluca Vialli. That's right.
Vialli, yeah.
Before you ask, I got all of them. Yes, because my dad.
I have all the Forza Campioni. The Kenner, Forza Campioni.
Yes,
I think I took a picture. Everybody. I think it's like 32 of them.
Sorry.
Oh, look at him. Oh, Oscar is back. Everybody's happy in Florida. Oh, look at the couch. Oh, there's the couch. Don't hide the couch. Don't hide the couch.
Power outage. So
yeah, right.
It happens here all the time.
I was testing Beppe on his Italia 90 1990s national team roster, and obviously he hasn't failed a single beat.
Of course.
I was doing that because, see, I have my little toys.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's Tacconi, right. So when you got gas at EP back in 1990, you could actually get one of these guys.
Nice.
So, and I have all of them because I'm a maniac. So
where's Baggio? Did they release Baggio that year? I don't remember.
Yeah, they have Baggio in there. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna move the light for a second, and I'm gonna show you where I keep these guys. This is gonna blow your mind. So I keep these guys in here.
There you go. There used to be a Pandoro in there.
That's right.
Whatever
so if you turn it around, you got the whole AC Milan picture.
Oh wow!
Back in the days, 97, 98.
98. Wow.
The worst Milan team of the 90s.
Yes, you can see Ba somewhere in there with his yellow hair.
Dugarry.
And obviously, once I got that, I obviously had to get the toys of that. So
cool.
Here we go. We got a little George Weah for you.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, this guy was the guy who sealed it for me. I grew up with, sense of Gullit and Rijkaard and Van Basten, but the guy who really got me on board, the guy that really made the AC Milan, the Rossoneri blood pump in my veins, that was George.
Oh, he was great, and he was so fun
to
hear. Just listen to his thing. He was such a nice guy because he was fun.
He was a great guy, man.
I did break my heart years later when we found out that he was actually, when he was young, he supported Juve. It did break my heart a little bit. But
I don't know why he went.
A lot of people are not born perfect. Okay, I mean, a lot of people are not born perfect.
Yeah, he was very confused.
Like they say, Bergomi was always Milanista.
Yeah, it's true. I got Bergomi in here too. I mean, he's somewhere in the big Pandoro box. He's somewhere in there.
Zio.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I grew up watching Real Madrid. Like that was what it was.
Yeah, but that's okay. It's not Juventus,
but exactly. But then they start teaching you this, and you start looking at this. Van Basten was what I remember. Van Basten was, to me, everything. I was like, wow, this guy can fly, can shoot, can.
I agree. I got a glimpse of him, to be honest, as far as I'm concerned. Like, I feel like the big year for me was when George got to AC Milan, and 1994 World Cup sort of got it. And I always wanted to do this. Like, I always wanted to throw it out there to people and ask them who was the player that really sealed the deal for you with AC Milan, because I feel like it's nice to hear everybody's story. But yeah, no, definitely George. You remember the goal against Lazio?
Oh yeah,
that will stay with me forever.
I was watching Quelli che il calcio because I didn't have the things. I remember saying.
Me neither.
They had a suora. Come si chiama? La suora della Lazio.
Ah, sì, come si chiamava?
Suor Paola. So she said, and they kept going to these people because basically Quelli che il calcio was they had celebrities going to the stadium. I'm telling Oscar this. They're going to the stadium and watching the game, but they only shot their faces because they couldn't show the game. So Suor Paola, I'll never forget it, said, I'll make a prediction. There will be a goal today. And they all made fun of her because I think he scored at the 89th minute.
Yes.
He scored a crazy goal. And they said,
crazy goal with that run between Negro and Favalli that I will always remember. It was insane.
Who won the Scudetto that year? That was
we
95,
did.
96. 95, 96. And I remember like it was yesterday. We played, I don't know if it was a semifinal or quarterfinal, in the season of 94, 95. We played against, I think it was a semifinal against PSG. And he was there. And he was there. And,
UEFA, right?
Yeah. And we knew already that we got Weah. So we're looking at Weah already as a future Milan player.
True.
And we happened to play with them. And I remember like it was yesterday, that game. I also remember
look at this move.
Yeah, look at that.
I mean, how you gonna this? I remember this like I remember, I don't know, Çalhanoğlu's goal from the other day. Like I remember this so vividly in my mind. Yeah, it was a beautiful moment. I mean, look at this move, right? So he comes in with the right, turns with the left, and then sees a gap, and there you go.
He puts the turbo on. It's just incredible.
How and then yes, that's right. He's like a Porsche right there.
This is the type of stuff that I miss. Like I want to see that. We don't see that on today's culture.
Well, we saw Theo show glimpses of that. I mean, the only one that I can think of that like put in the turbo, like Gone in 90s. I mean, like what's it called? That movie with the speed.
Gone in 60 seconds.
No, not that. The one with the Vin Diesel.
Fast and the Furious.
Fast and the Furious. When they press the freaking buttons and the NAS just goes. Remember Bale against Barcelona, the Copa del Rey?
Oh yeah.
He just killed people. And you know what? Lukaku's got like things of that. Like Lukaku, I love because a guy
I think Lukaku sometimes can actually be faster than Hakimi.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Like you just see him. It looks fake. It looks like literally when he pressed R1 on FIFA, and he just goes.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I mean, I suck at FIFA, but I'm pretending I know what you're saying. But I suck.
I know what he's saying. Every time I play against Beppe, I know exactly what he's saying.
You should play against me. You would have great satisfaction.
No,
you go to bed very happy.
I haven't played with Beppe because now I don't have a PS5 yet. So
I play at FIFA like Urbi used to play on the pitch for us. That's how good I am.
Oh,
yeah, I'm really bad.
Shots fired.
Shots fired.
We should contact Urbi and be like, listen, well, one of these days we have a big fan of yours. We want to ask you, how did it feel to play at Milan when you had no reason to be on a football pitch?
Yes, let me phrase those questions whenever you get his phone number. Please let me ask those questions. I'll be very happy to conduct the interview.
He's playing for Utrecht. Happy. He's playing for Utrecht. He's 34, so I don't know.
He should play. He should play for New Utrecht High School, which is right here in Benton.
Yes, I agree. If they want him, they want him.
So there's that app called Cameo, right? I don't know if you've heard about it, right? Like you hire like a celebrity and they do like a customized message. Recently, the company we did, they hired Ice-T to do this thing, and I'm like browsing through the players, and I saw Nigel de Jong. He's on Cameo, and it costs like $400 per like hour or message or something like that for him to give you a message. I'm like, no way. I mean, like, what is he gonna say? So I've been tempted to actually see if we can put in like all chip in together and do like a Nigel de Jong dedication.
I can probably get you, if you want, I can get you Daniele Massaro for a bottle of Montepulciano.
And a box of Toscanelli.
And a box of Toscanelli.
Hey, Daniele is amazing.
Daniele would be happy with that.
Daniele, we could probably like chew his ear out for like a good 45 minutes to an hour, and you'll probably stay and just tell you so much. Because he's the most available guy I've ever seen. I was so happy when we met him for the ICC thing. Yeah. I felt like we were just talking to one of us, and then you look at him, it's actually Massaro. Such a oh my God! And then when you went to the hotel and you saw him and Mateus making fun of each other, and Mateus was one of my heroes. I used to love Mateus, even though you play for Inter. Yeah. And that day at that hotel we actually saw Trezeguet sitting in the lobby, and I wanted to take a picture with him and shake his hand and tell him, "Thank you for that. Thank you for Manchester because he missed the penalty in Manchester.
Yeah.
And thank you for Berlin because he got he
did.
I would have loved to have done that, but he wasn't as available as Mateus was. Mateus was actually making fun of us for being Milan. Oh, you guys, these are all the Milan fans you guys had, because we actually followed Massaro back to the hotel because he needed to give the Toscanello to Vito that he was going to give to his friend that had the restaurant. So that day we actually hung out with Massaro after hours.
That's awesome.
It was so great.
I remember because AC Milan at some point we talked about your experience in Boston, and AC Milan told me at some point they lost him. They didn't know where he was. Yes, he was with you guys.
So have you had any recent contacts with anybody at the team right now?
Yeah. No, I haven't spoken with any players because everybody is in.
No, but on the corporate.
Oh no, for sure. Yeah, today we had a meeting today. There are a couple of things happening, and I have disclosed a few things, but I can't talk until we actually get pen to paper and we sign things. But we're going to be I mean, I don't want to speak too much, but we're going to be heavily involved in June, July. It's going to be a couple of months where I finally had a chance to speak with Puma today, which I was very happy about. So it's going to be interesting. June and July are going to be exciting for us. So
yeah, I mean, right now, the way I see June, July, I think in general in the world is like it's almost like a rebirth of, we're getting past all this situation. Everybody, at least here, people are getting vaccinated, and I think there's a lot of good things. I think people are going to start looking this at a fresh thing. So now, thinking with you, whatever you're working on, it's going to be good for everybody who is a fan of the team, and we're all together in this. So
for sure. I mean, one thing I can do is I can tell you right away that North America is going to be heavily featured as far as the marketing campaigns and the brand mission for the next couple of years.
That's awesome.
So our interest is obviously, to make I want to help the club in New York City, but we always want to help everybody. Maurizio saying, let us know what we can do. Of course, we're all together. We're all brothers. So we're when we talk about North America, when we talk about America, when we talk about Mexico, and we know we have a lot of fans over there, we want to involve everybody. I mean, my interest is to get as many people as we can. Of course, we are AC Milan NYC, and we're part of that beautiful club. So obviously they relate to us and they talk to us, but everybody's welcome, man. I mean, we need to talk. We need to make AC Milan into whatever whatever we want it to be, because that's the way AC Milan is going. They are looking at North America as an expansion market. So it's beautiful.
I'm excited. I can see everything from LinkedIn and, following the right people and connected to these people. Although, I've said, hey, I do something completely different, but I see what you guys are doing, and I just suggest some ideas. So I'm excited.
I have read an article. They were talking about how, North America and I don't know if they say China or if they say just Asia in general was a big part. They were banking a lot on those two areas of the world as far as Milan went. So,
well, we are I can't really speak for Asia, because I never ask questions about that, because I feel like we already have our hands full as far as developing whatever we're trying to develop in North America. So I'm trying not to talk about things I don't really know, but I know they're looking at Thailand. They talk to me a lot about Thailand, and I know a lot of guys over there really want AC Milan to expand. But one thing is for sure, June and July will be amazing for us, because there are a lot of things happening, and New York City, they have to look at us as a hub. We are part of their. We are like an airport. Like they can land at. They can land at New York City and then eventually expand to other areas of the United States or Canada or Mexico, for sure. But they are definitely focusing on NYC for the next couple of months.
I wonder what's going to happen, because I cannot see them do another ICC anytime soon.
Well, Beppe, you don't have to wonder too long, because we're going to put pen to paper very soon, and I need you involved. So
yeah.
I need you to be, I need you to be on the ground,
man. Stay tuned,
man.
people. Stay tuned. You'll see what's going to happen.
No, the only reason why I wasn't too sure about this year. Number one, because of COVID, even though the stadiums are starting to open with smaller capacity. Number two, because with the Euro being here, I don't know if for them it's. I mean, what are you going to have? August, September. Also, next year, I don't even know what's going on next year, because next year the World Cup is going to be in the winter.
Yes.
So I don't know exactly if the summer now becomes just when you're starting the new season, or what's going on. It's going to be interesting to see how everything comes together, because they're going to have to be playing. I think right after Thanksgiving, they're starting the World Cup. And I know
agree.
for a fact the final is the 7 days before Christmas. So
yes,
I know that.
That's right. So all I can say is that in my opinion, and again, this is just my opinion, so very limited, I think they're playing it very, very well. They're not doing anything that is going to exhaust the players. They're not investing a ton of money in activities that are going to take a lot of energy away from Calcio Mercato, away from the Euro Cup. They're playing it very safe. in a very nice way, and they're involving fans heavily, which I think it's such a smart thing to do. And I'm very happy about, I don't know if you guys heard, but we're getting a new marketing manager. He started on Monday. And I think we're on the right track, and I think it's going to be great. I again, I leave a lot of Zoom calls with the large smile on my face. You know what I mean? So I hope that's going to stay.
We need to see. I want to wake up in a city that has a lot more Milan jerseys than before, and that's the only way to do this.
Agree.
Get the name. I'm sick and tired of seeing these Barcelona shirts, these fucking Real Madrid shirts. Granted,
Juventus, even Juventus.
You see, I put a story.
Yeah,
there was a Juventus little kid, but that's because of Ronaldo.
Well, I'm telling you, like, one thing that I can say about that I think it's useful to know is that every time I was involved, and again, just keep in mind, I'm involved in like 5% of the conversations. Of course, I don't work for AC Milan, so I'm not trying to look like I know everything, because I don't. Yeah. I'm just part of 5% of the conversations, but all the conversations I have heard and I've been part of. The examples that have been made to me about expanding in the North American market, the videos, the links, the PDFs, presentations that have been sent to me are all coming from the EPL, which in my opinion, it's a very good sign, because I still remember Chelsea winning the Champions League with Di Matteo and actually renting a bus to bring the Champions League down on 5th Avenue, all the way from 110 all the way down on 5th, all the way to 23rd Street. And the Chelsea fans, being able to see it live in New York City.
Yeah.
I think that's huge. Like, I'm not saying we want to go there tomorrow. I don't think we're going
to. But that tells you, I mean, and again, it probably, and this is one of the last points, this is what I was talking in our groups earlier this week. The image that the EPL has had through the broadcasting system in the US has been so solid and so well done. And Serie A, on the opposite end, has been a hot potato. It's gone from one chain to the other, and now we're going to another one.
Yeah, we are.
And again, what makes me hopeful is that we're going to the one that has the Champions League altogether, so it gives us a little bit more of exposure. But again, it's the seriousness that this is why they have rooted it so bad. Like, you talk to anybody and their perception of soccer is, like I said, Everton versus Aston Villa. Did you watch that match? I'm like,
true.
Why would I care? But that's what they have done here. They have ingrained it. So if we're going to be competing with that, I hope that there's going to be a solid strategy to do so, because it's another subscription that I have to pay here on my phone. Like, now to watch Serie A, I have to leave ESPN. I got to go to CBS, because that's who they're. And it can't be every 2-3 years like this. Otherwise, it's not going to grow.
I wonder, Oscar, if this is less related to us and more related to the madness and the speed of the markets right now. Like, I see that happening in Italy as well. Like, I don't think it's a US market problem. No, I mean, we have the same problem in Italy. Like, who's gonna have Champions League rights next year? Is it gonna be DAZN? Is it gonna be Sky? Is it gonna be Mediaset? Are we gonna watch Champions League on a different platform altogether? Like, I don't understand. I don't even know. Like, my father was asking me the other day, "Oh, what kind of subscription should I get for next year if I want to watch this and that?" And I was like, "I have no idea. I don't know."
That's exactly what it is. It has to do with that. Just everything evolves, everything changes. That's what it is. I mean, it's nothing to do with. It's not a particular thing. It's not like the day they're predicting that Ronaldo's leaving and ESPN decided to do without the Serie A. I think it's just everything. I see, like, Peacock TV, YouTube TV, Hulu, Amazon Prime, Paramount Plus, which is going to be with
Paramount Plus,
CBS Plus.
We're in a new age where everything now is going to be streaming. We're going to wake up one day. We're going to say, "You remember when we had satellite providers? When we had
oh my God,
providers? It's going to disappear. They're all going to be these channels doing their own thing,
but again,
somebody's umbrella."
But again, what I'm going with this is, like, you. Again, you talk about moving streaming services. What I'm talking about is you had one chain of channel just investing on that over and over. I mean, it's been very steady with the Premier League. if we get to the point where the Premier, of course, we're not going to get as big as the Premier League, but if we're going to get to a steady promotion somewhere through one uniform channel, I think that's when I'm going to start seeing growth of like adoption. Right now, the only growth that you're seeing is Juventus because they have Cristiano Ronaldo and kids love Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah, but you could see this. You could say the same thing about the Champions League. UEFA had them always on ESPN for as long as we can remember. They were always on ESPN.
Yes.
Then they went. To, Then they went to Fox. Now they're on CBS. Now they're with CBS. You see what I'm saying? Even if a place, somebody like UEFA has changed and stuff like that. I think it's just like you said, it's just with the times. It's just you can't control it. And if people really give a shit about the league, the same way they give a shit about the Champions League, they make sure whether it's Galavision, whether it's Telemundo, they'll make sure to go find it. You just gotta have your product is gotta be good. You know what's good about the Premier League? The Premier League, it's also a lot of smoky mirrors. It's the way they present their product. Because do I really give a shit about Brighton versus Bournemouth? But when you watch that game, you look at it, it's like a spectacle.
I agree, man.
The TV, like when they get ready, it's all smoky mirrors because the quality is what it is. We may have better quality in Italy, but they present this as the greatest show on earth. And that's what the Premier League is.
Here's, I mean, Beppe, I fully agree with you. Like, you have no idea how many times I was, taking a break, running on a treadmill, whatever you want, and I chose to watch EPL instead of Serie A.
Yeah,
I got to be honest, I did, because I knew I was getting a different feed. I was in New York City, and I was getting a different commentary. I was getting a different replay action. I was getting a different type of halftime show. It was a whole different experience. So I'm with you 100%. The good news is, I used to say this stuff, and it was like, I don't even know. It was like me shouting in an empty church. You know what I mean? Yeah. Now I say this at meetings, and people look at me and go, "Oh, that's interesting. Can you provide us with the examples, please?" And I was like, "Oh, great. So now you're listening?" Yeah. So that's a start. You know what I mean? I want to go past all the times that I said this, and people were like, "Yeah, whatever. We're Serie A." So,
but I think it's also a compilation of a lot of things. Like when you watch a Verona Sassuolo match, and you look at a fucking shitty stadium, it seems like something stupid. But when you look at the Premier League, they have smaller stadiums, but look at the way they're set up. The fans are literally touching the corner. Everything is just different. The spectacle.
I agree.
Everything is just. We have the ultras, which is beautiful, but when you look at everything in Italy is unfortunate, and I'm very proud to be Italian. But unfortunately, I hate to bash my country, but there's a lot of things that are scadenti, as we say in Italy.
I agree.
They're very, and I know Pasci is very advocate when it comes to scadenti. People that don't know, it's very outdated. Now we're finally starting to get to it. Atalanta's fixing the stadium. Sassuolo's got a very new stadiums. We still working with the same.
Friuli is brand new.
Or just go to Cagliari. I mean, it's insane. I mean, you sit in a stadium seat at San Siro, and Oscar were there not even too long ago, about 2 years ago, right? When was it? Like,
changed.
I mean, I'm sitting there with Oscar, and we're literally like one next to the other in this very small seats that there's nothing to lean against, and they're very hard, and everything is very cold. And we had to go to the bathroom at some point, right? And it was one single bathroom for the whole section. We're talking about 200 people. Yep. And I'm like, where do you think we're going with this? This makes no sense. And then you take a ride up to Munich, 5-hour car ride, and you get to the Allianz Stadium in Munich, and it looks like you're in 2035.
Even Germany, stadium-wise, like when you see the games, they're presented way different. I mean, you cannot.
I agree.
Spain is very similar to Italy when it comes to stadiums, though.
Yeah.
But Spain has got that thing that, what draws to Spain? The fact that all these South Americans, all these Latin Americans are drawn to the game because they speak the same language and they can relate.
But that's the same thing with Americans and the English
Premier
language.
League.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's what it is.
We have to take it into account.
Yeah.
Yes.
Guys, any final thoughts? Wrap it up.
Well, I think. I mean, I don't want to start a whole different conversation here, but Maurizio actually sent something in the chat that I thought was interesting, because he said that DAZN was the reason he was able to actually start, showing games.
Yeah.
So my question is, did you get the feed in Canada? Do you get the DAZN feed in Canada? Because that's one of the things I wanted to finish with was, if we can unify the image, the type of broadcast we have in Italy with the feed we get in the US, if we can get those two to match, I think it could be very interesting. Because if you look at the EPL on Sky in London, and you look at the EPL on what is it, on NBCN, right? MSNBC. No, NBC Sports, right?
Yeah,
exactly. If you look at that, they look a lot alike. All right, they don't have the same commentators. Well, I get that. There's a time difference. So, okay. But what I'm saying is they look a lot alike. So if we find a way to get this, I think that would be a way in. Get DAZN to look exactly the same, the United States, as it does in Canada, as it does in Rimini or in Milan. Yeah. And finally, everybody's speaking the same language.
I'm unfortunate. I don't want to sound like the little, even though I'm not supposed to say this. I have an IPTV, as do a few of us. So basically, for me, they could go to CBS, they could go to Nickelodeon, they could go wherever the fuck they want. For me, it doesn't matter because I watch Sky and I watch DAZN. So, but I'm in the very small number. If you want to
No, you're not. No, you're not, because a lot of people are tired of bouncing between CBS and NBC and DAZN and ESPN. So they get a VPN.
But what I mean
and
is,
they don't care about the rest.
What I mean is, but going back to the market, growing the North American market, we know these things because we're Italian. The Americans that are trying to follow, so you know what?
They don't.
Instead of watching it, they don't know. So that's what you need. Like you're saying, you need something to make this. What you're saying is 100% true. You're supposed to throw the other fans. Well, the Italians are always going to watch it. Yeah,
we know about VPN exactly. The 5-year-olds and 10-year-olds and 12-year-olds who go to the soccer camp in the summer, they don't know about that. Their parents don't know about that. They want to watch it on CBS. So let's make it happen. I agree with you, Beppe. 100%.
We gotta get Serie A in a major network in the US.
I agree.
Bundesliga's made it. Bundesliga's made it to Fox, and they made it in EPL, of course. So now, if this is gonna happen, it's gonna really turn faces. So that's it. That's what I got, man. Well, good to see you. You're
back to see you guys.
Yeah, we'll get together, I guess, on the next. I don't know.
Sunday.
Okay, we'll get.
All right, I'm happy to join in on Sunday.
Yeah,
you guys let me know.
Right after the game.
I'll show you more toys. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I'll get more happening.
Albertini.
Yeah. Oh, don't you shit, Beppe. You're really good at this. Yeah, man. That's Albertini. Yeah. Oh my God. We can't show anything. This guy gets it.
I'm sick. That's why.
Of course you are. You know everything. Grande abbraccio per voi.
Grazie ragazzi, grazie mille.
Forza Azzurri e Forza Milan.
Forza Azzurri e Forza Milan.